Y'all let me know when we're back. I'm just getting a couple of shots in here. I kid y'all not. I don't know how many daggone videos I have with light and just trying to get the best light, you know? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I did not know we was gonna go out. I had. Now we can hear you. Cool, cool. What's going on, Country Taco? I I put my phone on the do not disturb, the work thing, so that way I don't get any phone calls or anything to come through. And I'll be dagged on if that didn't work, or maybe the iPad doesn't do it. I'm working on getting a camera that I can actually just stream live off of that. I don't know when I'm gonna do that. The thing is, my phone works good, but the sound on it sucks. And I just know that I'd rather hear a person than see a person, especially if I'm trying to learn something. Um, so that's what we have going on. But yeah, what I was talking about is that I've been using this 203 right here. This is a all natural solution. Good thing about it is that you could spray it on the leaves as well as pour it down into the soil if you mix it properly with some water. And it's supposed to be natural. So far, it's worked really good with me helping with my thrips on getting rid of those. And any type of strange pest that I just have, I don't know every single pest that comes through. You know, sometimes they can all look alike, but they're so small. Now I can recognize a thrip and a mealybug very quick because I've just dealt with those so many times. But when it comes to other insects, I don't all the way know, you know, and it's weird because I haven't bought no plants in a very long time. I haven't had no plants, new plants to come in here with the exception of two that I bought from Home Depot. Actually, it was three of them. And those hadn't even been around that plant, and that plant was starting to have those issues going on with it before. So it's crazy how they could just develop pests just kind of out of nowhere. But we're still working with it, still treating it right. And so far, it just seemed like it was only just that little gap in between, but now I have a gap between the plants back there. I'm gonna move him so you can see what I'm talking about. All the way back here, you see this plant? This is my philodendron majestic right here. And see this plant right here, the leaf wants to come down, but this is the only, if I cut this leaf right here, which is the only one that has the effect, the rest of these seem to be doing fine. If I cut this off, I'm gonna have this big gap right here, and I'm just not trying to do that. All right, so let's talk about the care for this plant since we have it out. Philodendron burr marks. You want to give it a lot of light. As much light as you can give this plant is going to love it. When it comes to watering, you just want to water it when it's dry, as in your typical philodendron use. When you're talking about your soil, you want it to be a nice, chunky, airy mix. Guys, this is really, I hate to say that this is a sit and forget it plant because I don't want you to sit and forget it, but it is one of those plants that don't need a lot of maintenance. If you get it by a window and you just give it those things a little, make sure the window is actually open for the blinds, make sure you give it some water, don't forget about it. Make sure that from time to time you give it some food. I personally feed my plants or give them Super Thrive with every watering. Now, I will say this, I have not been fertilizing my plants over the past 2 or 3 months. And primarily, I don't fertilize my plants much. I did fertilize my plants like 3 or 4 times, but I found out that the plant food that I've been giving my plants also called a fertilizer. So it's a little bit of discrepancy in that, but I know that I've been giving that to my plants every single time I feed them, and they've been doing pretty fine. Now, I also haven't been giving them no obscene amount either as well. But I will say these last couple of months, instead of using my food that I usually use, I just been using the Super Thrive, okay? You all give me some questions and things to talk about. In the meantime, I am gonna get this room cleaned. I'll set us back right here. Hopefully we can see. This is also some good stuff that I've recently ran across. The 3-in-1. If you have like a mealybug thing, that also worked good. The thing is, this works really good too. Guys, it's so many different methods of treatments that you could use for your plant. The thing is, most people just don't stick with one. They don't stick with that method. And so they say that, oh, this doesn't work. No, it works. You just have to do it the repeated 3 to 7 days or whatever it is that they call for. And they all don't call for the same thing. Some may be weekly, some may be every other week. I don't know what you're using. Just read your instructions and actually do it the way you're supposed to, and don't shortcut it. I learned that doing it my way for every single thing is not gonna get me any good results, at least not the ones that I need in order for my room to look really good. If you really are serious about your plants, you really do have to develop a great plant care system, because it's not one of those things that if my plants get sick, it's when my thing gets sick. My Thai constellation had droopy leaves. They're healthy but droopy. What do you recommend? Um, First, I wouldn't, off the top, I would probably just want to see what it looks like. Droopy leaves. Droopy leaves, if the leaves are all healthy, but it has droopy leaves, then I would just check to see if it's properly watered. I mean, I know that might sound crazy, but stick your finger in there and see if it's about 1.5 inches. And if at any point that is dry, I would go ahead and just do a full complete watering of the plant and just let the water roll from the top to the bottom. Now, if the leaves are healthy and if the leaves are healthy, but the plant leaves are droopy, then next thing, if that's not the case, then I would check to see if you have any type of pest issues. Check very closely to see if you have any thrips. Look to see if you have any browning going on at the top as well. Because when thrips hit your plants, or mealybugs as well, your plant leaves could still look healthy, but thrips is going to leave a little brown traces of where they're at, and mealybugs just in general, you're going to just start to see little white patches. No browning, that means no thrips. That means anything we have is only uphill from there, and we don't have to worry about that. What about the moisture? Let's see here. Let's see here. What's the question? What works for gnats? Okay, so gnats. If you have gnats, the best thing overall I would suggest is repot. Let's see here. Well watered and rooted in moss pole. Well watered. Huh. So no browning. I know I would be confused too. Do you have roots growing out the bottom of the pot? Huh. Oh, sorry, I forgot the other question. What was it again? Um, into the O. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, this just might sound like a question for Chad. I hate to say it, but yeah, off the top of my mind, nothing is ripping to me. Let's see here. Huh. Hmm. I sure do. I would use the heck out of Chat if it could help me out. Let's see here. Anti constellation. No brown leaves. Look great. Fully watered. No roots out the bottom. All right, we're gonna see what it gives. Gnats, though. Okay, so there are several different sprays that you can use to treat gnats. I know a lot of people get they use mosquito pellets, or you could use those little fly traps, the little yellow things that you could stick into the bottom of the pot. And when the gnats fly around, boom, they get stuck to it. But if you're looking for some overall in the long term, I will repot my plants. I don't know how many plants you have, and I'm not asking you to go and start repotting 100 plants. But Your mix is just holding too much moisture, which is making the gnats come. Now, I'm not saying it to to toot my own horn or anything, but in here, I don't have not one gnat problem, and it's because I keep a really, really just airy mix for the most part in like all of these plants. Now, my cabinet that I have over there, that I have kind of some of my sick plants in, some of those are complete. When I bought them in, they were still in peat moss. And when I water them, and if I don't turn the fan on over there, I will have some gnats that will be inside of there. So um, definitely just the soil. Eventually, at some point in time, get to it. I had it at first when I first started off, before I started doing the chunky mix. It's just irritating. You know, they're not going to do any damage to the plant, but they're irritating and they fly everywhere. And plus, you just don't usually, if you are having the gnats and is dealing with a moisture issue, at some point in time it could get to your plants. So just do a measurement like this. Your watering your plants should go through from the top to the bottom when you water it, and your moisture should only stay inside your plant for no longer than 2 weeks. Your plant should be dried out in about 2 weeks. Okay, maybe 3 weeks is pushing it, but if you got a plant that's holding moisture the whole month, and I'm not saying that this is yours, but if you have plants that are retaining moisture in for like a month, then you're usually going to have some type of gnat issues too. Um, yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see what's going on here. This is what they're telling me. They're telling me the roots aren't established yet, but I'm guessing that this plant, if it's attached to a moss pole, you've had it at least a year, probably longer than that, to have it attached to there. It said recently watered, temporary drop. Has it been longer than 24 hours since your plant been droopy? You may have answered that. And the next thing is saying that the soil could be holding too much moisture, but you would have root rot going on and you would have browning spots if that was the case. So chat don't know everything, but don't tell that to them. Temperature or airflow, have you moved it or is it by a door? You just let me know. Other than that, they're just giving me the right. They go, you know, no, this is a true thing, okay? I'm keeping it hot with you. I don't have no reason to lie to you all. Sometimes I'll use ChatGPT to help me out. Let's just say that I'm trying to identify what kind of plant I have, or I want to recommend people. Let's just say, hey, I'm doing a post and I want to teach people how to care for a plant. So instead of me going through typing in everything, I ask Chat, hey, can you go ahead and tell me what, I'll take a picture of the plant and give the care needs, and then I'll go in there and I'll adjust and give my own opinion to it. They'll have me with the whole wrong plant, and then I'll go in there and I'll tell them, like, no, this is a so-and-so plant. It'll say, yeah, you're right. As I look a little bit closer, these things do. I'm like, what if I just would have trusted your opinion and went with it, and boom, this plant is a mofo. It's beautiful, but sad and depressed. Don't listen. When you said you was having a problem with a Monstera constellation, the first thing is my heart went out to you because they are the most beautiful, finicky plants. They will be doing great for a very long period of time. Then one random time you just decide to walk by them, take a look at them, and boom, you got an issue going on. Mine over here have thrips going on. Well, thrips or some type of pest going on. I've been spraying it and treating it. And I know you want to ask me, well, why didn't I separate the plants? Well, it gets to a point like this. I'm giving it the spray, I'm giving it the treatment, and as I see fit to other plants that are going to need it, I'll get rid of them. But for right now, I noticed that I had something going on when we did, I think it was either a live or a video I recorded. And oh, let me see something. I got a message here before I start rumbling. I've seen a couple of gnats around the house, nothing serious, but want to get rid of them. Yeah, that's that. If that's, yeah. Well, if you don't have, if it's nothing too serious, of course. Now, if you just seen them just flying around the house and you want to get rid of them, I'll tell you what to do. Just go to the store and get those. You can get it from Home Depot, Lowe's, those little fake apples that have that little vinegar cider. Now, if you just want to be cheap, you can just get you a cup and put some vinegar in them on different places. And I'm not calling you cheap to be rude, but I do it. Just get some apple cider. Now I don't use the regular apple cider. I use the Bragg's or whatever it is, just because I had it in the house. I don't know if the regular apple cider work. I'm just giving what worked for me. You can just take some of that, put it in a cup, and put them wherever you see them at, and they'll start flying in them. But they love those fake apples. You can put the vinegar inside the apples in there. Before you know it, they'll start getting in there, and you won't have no issues. But yeah, I've been spraying these off with the 3-in-1 spray, and I've been using the 203. I've just been mixing them in together and seeing what's gonna happen from them. Also, make sure if you do spray your leaves, if you have any type of pest or anything like that going on, make sure you don't have your grow lights going on at the same time you do it. If so, you're gonna fry your leaves, okay? But yeah, so I did a repot on the 2 Monstera ties. Well, 1 Monstera tie yesterday, but those are the 2, and that's where they're gonna sit at. As you can tell, the genetics in these 2 are a little bit better than the genetics in these 2 that are back here. Now this one look absolutely beautiful. 70% alcohol works. I keep it in a spray bottle if and when I see a gnat. It works well. Boom, y'all got it. And that's a natural way. And you can go to the store and get a bottle of alcohol and stretch that a long way. That'll work too if you have them going on with the plants. Appreciate that. How you doing, Gigi? I am so embarrassed, guys. I was supposed to be getting in here doing some type of cleaning, and I got in here yesterday, got to this plant, and just decided to leave it there and start focusing on everything else. Good morning. A few things, sorry guys, I didn't mean to clear my throat like that. A few things that I do want to get to today inside of here. Let me get you, hold on a minute. I'm gonna show y'all my Philodendron Brataneum. I watered it yesterday and it's looking a little bit more alive. Probably a plant, good morning, I'm so happy that I found your channel, I just subscribed. Oh, I appreciate that, I really do. This right here is a Philodendron Brataneum, guys. They're a very finicky plant, finicky, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, plant, but I'm gonna tell you, if you've ever just gotten close up on them and just seen that silver that hit off of them, they're absolutely beautiful. They get to be long and viney and a little bit everywhere. If you're looking for a plant that you're gonna be able to control, this isn't the plant for you. It's gonna do whatever it wanna do. And it's a very, very, very slow grower as well. But if you're ever into learning how to care for a plant like this, it's the same way as a Philodendron Brazil. Now, any plant that has any type of silvery or variegation just in general, they need a lot of light or the color isn't gonna come through. I don't have this plant in the best of light. If I did, it was at one point in time where this plant used to be directly under a grow light. It was when it was a lot smaller than this, but directly under it, and those colors used to be very vibrant. Now we're starting to lose a little touch of its green. I mean, a little bit of its silver. It happens with time. I buy a plant and the other plant kind of gets pushed to the side or relocated and it doesn't do as good as it's supposed to. This one over here is fighting for, you should be able to see from here, is fighting for a little bit of light from my Brazil that's right here, and she's completely taken over. Let's see if I could turn this a little bit so you can kind of see her size a little bit. Let's see. If I ain't had this grow light attached here, it really would be a lot easier than this. Okay, let's see. All right, let's get a little bit closer. You can see all the stuff on the floor. Last night I got over here and actually watered all over here. Let's see if we get a little closer. And then I'll talk a little bit about some of these plants over here. Can you all see? Is that good? Should be able to. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of these. This right here is the Philodendron Brazil. It's all over everywhere. It's absolutely beautiful, very easy growing plant. The only thing you need to worry about is mealybugs, but mealybugs really don't attack this plant as fast and as aggressive as if this was a pothos. Pothos, mealybugs and pothos, I think they're born together. We joke about it at my local nursery saying that it should come with a birth certificate of mealybugs. This right here is also a Brazil. This is the silver stripe. And if you look a bit closer, it even looked like it has some cream splashing here and everything. But that's what it was sold to me. So until I see something different, then that's what I'm gonna call it. Over here is the Scindapsus. I have a Scindapsus that's grown up on an actual moss pole that you all have seen, but I'll show you about the size of this one. It was watered yesterday, so it's a little heavy. But yeah, so can you see? Okay. All right, we see a little bit of yellow. Let's see if we see a yellow leaf in here. Yeah. And we have these yellow leaves, guys. Just pick them on off and get them over with. But yeah, she's very, very beautiful. Thank you. Very easy plant, guys. If you want to look like a person who know how to grow a lot of plants, hey, listen, this is one of these plants that'll do it for you. The only thing you need to provide for them is some light and some water. They'll do all right in meh soil, and they'll also do all right in meh light. They're not going to do good if you don't give them water, though. You have to give them that. Now, they'll give you some signs of it. Like yesterday, all curled up. But usually, if you blow past that all curled up look, I mean, it's still a little bit curled up as it needs to hydrate. But if you forget about this plant for too long, you won't be able to get those leaves back. The plant itself, I believe that if you chop it all the way down, it'll still do good. I've had a Scindapsus that didn't do that great. I actually gave that plant away, but it wasn't doing that great when I bought it. And then I just cut it down all the way down to the bottom just to let it start over again. I forgot to water it. So yeah, so I just cut it all the way down and just water. I didn't know what was going to happen from it. Put it in a Ziploc bag. That's a hack, guys. That is a hack. I think I might do a video on it. If you have small plants that you bought in, let's say, a 4-inch pot, and you're having a lot of dry leaf issues, maybe just you can't get the water in right, go to the store, get you big Ziploc bags, the 1-gallon Ziploc bags, okay? They will hold a 4-inch plant and one about that tall. You drop it in there, you spray a little bit of water. Just make sure, I'm trying to do it the right way because I don't want to take wrong. Don't heavily water the pot with water. Just like water it kind of halfway, because with you closing it in the Ziploc bag, the humidity and everything and the water in there is going to absorb and go everywhere. If you fill that plant up all the way from the top to the bottom and set it in that Ziploc bag, depending on what kind of soil you use, it's a 50-50 chance that it's not going to do too good. But if you follow that, just water it halfway or mist it in there, zip up your bag, put it somewhere where some light is at, your plant will do good. You can pretty much bring any plant back and you won't have to worry about any type of pest because it has its own little humidity environment going on. Then when you get you some money, you can buy you something like a big greenhouse, or my goal is to get one of those IKEA cabinets, the glass ones that you could just put your plants in. People look at them like, oh, So I want some people to do that to mine too. I don't think I have those type of plants that normally will go into it though. They're like anthuriums and alocasias, a bunch of whole expensive plants that I'm just not willing to invest in right now. And that's just because I don't have the care to do it. I'll be honest, my time isn't the time that it used to be. And I'll also keep it real with you guys. I have a lot of daggone plants. You know, I got to become real with myself. I love my collection and I want to keep my collections. But if I add to my collection, it might not be no collection. Okay? That's where I'm at right now. Give me another week, give me tomorrow, maybe that'll change. But for right now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm good on plants, says the plant person who buys plants. Let's move on. Um, you all, if you have any questions or anything. If not, then how often do you water your Scindapsus? When the leaves curl. That's the only time. That's the only indication I get from the plant that it's time for it to be watered. I keep my plants, especially the Scindapsus, though both of them are in two different mixes, I should say. My very tall one, let me show you. Y'all want to see the tall one? Come on, you got to say yeah. You got to make my work worth it. All right, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I feel like the man now. Well, I gotta look up to my plants, but you know. So this Scindapsus right here is the same exact one you saw over there. That's just one in the basket. This is just one vine that you will cut from that basket and just grow it up on here. Now I actually have two vines growing on top of here. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with it yet. I really find myself having a hard time going up this third step, having to water it for moss pole. So I may need to go ahead and cut this plant just to give it a better shot. When I was actively watering the moss pole, the leaves got to be really big, like this size. And then you can kind of tell where I stopped and where it stopped growing on the moss pole. Look how little the leaves are. To show you. So this is the importance of growing moss pole. You get to learn firsthand. So when I was actively watering the moss pole, now this vine is a little bit smaller in retrospect, but when I was actively watering my moss pole, I had leaves that was popping out pretty big. Then when I slowed down, I got a leaf like this. And then it started sizing up a little bit. Then I slowed down, as you could tell, as I don't water the plant, all the way up there on the moss pole for it to be able to attach to, get some nodes going and build its own root system. Then the plant leaves get smaller. And this one is hanging all the way off, as you can see. I have a jade scindapsus that stays on the struggle bus. I feel like with just the jade, that's a very finicky plant. The jade and the moonlight. Let me show you something else too. Since you have scindapsus, you might find this to be pretty cool. I don't know if you ever heard of a Shawn scindapsus. So this is the thing right here. I have a Shawn scindapsus and another scindapsus that I don't know the name of it that I forgot. So you can identify if you want to, or we could just call these both the Shawn. Now this is what I'm talking about, the bag, guys, that I keep in its own humidity right here. Ziploc bag, 1 gallon. And you can even see the humidity inside the bag. About once every 3 weeks, it's not a bad idea to open the bag up and just let the air out. Now you don't have to take the plant out, I'm just showing you for display. So this right here is my scindapsus, I believe Shawn, and we have a root that's coming out of here. So it is getting ready to outgrow its mix. You remember when I was talking to you all yesterday about what I use, sphagnum moss and perlite? That it gets the job done, okay? It works. So I had taken this plant out the bag probably about three months ago, but I started having leaves started curling a little too much, and I messaged the lady who gave it to me, and the first thing she said was, hey, you got to get your plant, it needs some more humidity. And that's what happened when you have a lot of smaller plants and they're just adjusting to the room. But eventually at some point in time, I'm waiting for it to get a little bit larger so I can actually repot it in regular soil that I'm going to be using for it, and it's going to have to come out to the room. And if it's not going to be able to match the energy in the room, then it's going to have to go because yeah, I only kick it with the plants that can vibe in here. Now next, I don't know if this is a Shawn or what either, but the leaf, this has an all yellow leaf, so I don't think this is right. This is another right here, scindapsus. So I really do love a scindapsus. I don't have a lot of them, primarily because when you have one, it kind of takes care of that. Philodendrons don't do that. I can never have too many philodendrons. I don't care if it's a burgundy philodendron. I will have a light burgundy, dark burgundy, royal burgundy, burgundy, dark burgundy. I don't care. I can't get tired of philodendrons. But yeah, they give your scindapsus a lot of light. That's what I would only suggest to it. I used to have this one back there on the wall, and the grow light wasn't being received from it. The grow light that I had, it used to have to go through one plant in order for it to get to this plant. And I started just having, the leaves just stopped coming out. It just started becoming just very viney with nothing to lean off. Something like this. How a vine is supposed to come, a leaf is supposed to come out, but it didn't, so it just bypassed it. And then another thing is I have watering issues as well. The leaves on mine are really bush full. The leaves seems yellow, maybe due to overcrowding. I mean, only you gonna know that. I would say you get a little bit of time. It's not repotting a plant if you haven't taken it out and broken it up. So I would say get in there, take a look at the soil. See if when you go into your plant and if it's a whole lot of roots in there and you don't see a lot of soil, that's when your plant is root bound. Now, if you go in there, you just see some plants growing, some roots growing out the side of the soil at the bottom or so forth, then you know that the plant it's not time for it to get out. Don't repot it unless it needs to be repotted, and you can repot in the wintertime. It'd be perfectly fine. If you have to repot. If you get some time, and if you want to, you can always, you repotted it recently. How recent? If it's only been a month since you repotted it, then give it another 2 months, like at least 3 months for it to work out. And also, if it's something, if you ever get in there and you just want to take a picture of it or do a video of it and send it over to them, 2 months ago, give it another month. Yeah, give it another month. You haven't had no time yet. Whenever I do a repot of a plant, depending on what kind of plant it is, how big it was, then sometimes you just got to give those months to acclimate. As long as the plant is drying out, as long as when you touch the leaves, you don't have any bending going on. And as long as you're not averaging more than 1 to 2 yellow leaves a week. You know what I mean? If you get a yellow leaf this week, this Friday you see one, and you don't see another one until next week Friday, but then you see another one come back on that Monday, then we need to panic. But if you just having just one leaf at a time, I wouldn't really stress out about it. Yeah, just wait. Give it a little bit of time. When you did your repot, did you use your Super Thrive? And what kind of mix did you use? I'm being nosy now, but what kind of mix did you use, if you don't mind me asking, when you did your soil, or did you just buy one out the bag? Okay, you did your Super Thrive. Okay. Well, you got that right. So the plant, you gave the plant some dessert. So anything there, you gave it a head start for you to figure out what it is that's going on. But you know how repots are. No matter how many times you do them, they can always be a little. I did change pot type. What you mean by pot type? You mean like just size of the pot, or you went from like a plastic pot to a clay or terracotta, from clear pot to clay? It shouldn't make much of a difference. Actually, the plant's actually gonna do better in the clay pot. But do you have a drainage at the bottom of your clay pot? I know some clay pots don't have that drainage. Yes. Okay, and when you watered your plant, did it pass through from the top to the bottom? It didn't just hold a whole lot of moisture in? Somebody, yes. I think I wouldn't. You've done everything right on your end. Okay, it's nothing for you to stress about. You've done everything right on your end. So just allow it to have a little bit of time for it to work out. But yeah, we're not worried. This is gonna be good. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. I can't wait to get some shelves. That's why I've been working as hard as I have for our company, so that way I can get me a saw, because once I get a saw, I'm gonna be able to go around this whole room and really set some things up. And guys, I'm gonna get ready to get off of here, but before I do, we can do a walk around. I'm gonna see if I can flip the camera around. Let's see. All right, here we are, guys. So this is the Monstera. Don't get me going. We're just gonna walk around. Anybody have any questions about anything? Say, hey, stop, or go back, or let's talk. Do the roots like to be root bound? I've had 2 leaves for a year. One just fell off and I have a new coming in. The roots are healthy. You talking about the Monstera Thai? Or are you talking about the Scindapsus? Have an amazing day and weekend. You do too, okay? I'm working on, hopefully I'll be on here on Monday. I at least want to get on here 3 days a week. I wish it was a way I could announce on my YouTube what time I'll be getting on. Maybe I could do a post or something if you all think that would be helpful if you'll read it. Then I can definitely make a post so that way I'm not wasting your time and you know where I'm going to be at. But the goal is to get on here every day, but I have to just start being, look at this right here, guys. Isn't she beautiful? And the goal, yeah, I want to get some shelves in here so that way I could put a lot more plants on, pull them out from the window and have a lot more room in here, seriously. That's really what I need. All right, and I'm not gonna turn the light on over here, but you all got the drift. All right. Scindapsus, yes, Scindapsus, they like to be root bound too. Just about every plant loves to sit in their roots and give them a mix that's gonna retain their moisture. Now, I know I always say a nice chunky airy mix, that's a go-to mix. That's a guarantee to have any plant do great. Get you 50% indoor pot mist, 25% perlite, 25% orchid bark, boom, guaranteed to have a great mix with your plants, gonna do good. But it also requires you to pay attention to the watering. If you're a person that's a little bit slower to watering, Scindapsus and Monsteras, they do like sitting in moisture a little bit longer. So if you was doing that, just think like this, hey, I can give it 70% indoor pot mix and do 15% perlite, 15% orchid bark for like a Scindapsus or a pothos. Not 70%, I'm sorry. Let's scale that back some. Ooh, don't quote me on that. I meant to say 60%, okay? So we'll do 60% indoor pot mix and then the other 25-25. I prefer to do something like a 30-30-30 ratio, and that's the nice airy mix. But when you're messing around with Scindapsus, pothos, monsteras, they do like to hold their moisture a little bit longer, so you won't go bad with that. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. If so, I'm sorry. And I don't want to leave anybody out there. Let me make sure I don't have any more questions. And then I'm going to roll off. All right. Well, Gigi, you're probably gone, but I hope you have an amazing day. Mara, I know I'm about to tear this up. Let's take my time with it. Mara Stappert. Mara Stappert, I believe. You have a great day. And thanks for coming through and thanks for talking. Seriously, thanks for engaging. Sometimes it's hard talking. I could be talking and it show me a crowd. I do not like the fact that it shows me how many people are live on here because I can go anywhere from 25 to 30 people and they drop all the way down to 1 or 2. And that can mean like, oh, I'm just talking to myself. But I really do appreciate you having a conversation with me. Help the time go by. What's going on, Jasar? Jasar Radik? I know I'm tearing that up too. Man, you got on here a little bit too late. I gotta get off. I know. You missed the cool part. Man, I do appreciate you coming through, man. I did a little bit of, let's see. I talked a little bit about the Scindapsus today. I talked a little bit about the Scindapsus, and then I talked about the burrow. Hey, C. Morris 26. Next time. Take care. And hopefully we get, I think we was talking about the gnats, right? Just getting here. Oh, everybody. I usually get on here at 11:30, and then I go to 12, and then if it's some conversation going on, then I get in at 12:30. All right, C. Morris. We're gonna get these gnats. Just get you some vinegar and those little apple things. I think they're like $4.48 for a pack. Is Mara like marijuana? Okay, Mara Stapper. Okay, all right. I like that. Okay, cool. Oh well. Yeah, all right, Kim. But yeah, I just Miss Kim White. I I did a review today, just talking a little bit about the Scindapsus, the philodendron, burrow marks. But I mean, you could always go back and check the live recording. But hopefully you get to get in here next time so we can get some conversations and so forth going. Um, yeah, I'll be here. If I say Monday, I'm committing myself to it. I'm gonna do my best to be here Monday at 11:30 if you're able to come through. But anyway, guys, you all take care. Did I miss anybody? All my plants are dead. Hopefully, I'll learn something. Hey, I got you. We all been in the same boat. Okay, we all got you. All it's about is finding plants that work for you. I promise you, all of my plants in here, my kids can take care of these plants as long as they remember to water them. I mean, of course, when the repot, we have to do a little help, but I don't have no messy plants, okay? If it wants to be dramatic, you get one time, I'll repot you. Second time, I'll do my best to figure out what could possibly been going wrong that I didn't catch in the repot. Third time is for a new home or it's outside. Either way, it's out of my care. I have a philodendron album and I have some questions about that, but I'll wait till you live next time. Can you put the questions still in the comments? So that way, if I don't know the answer off back, I'll have a little bit of time to get the answer. Or you could tell me now, and I'll take a picture on my phone if I can't answer it. Next live is gonna be Monday at 11:30. What time I'm in Minnesota? Well, I'm in North Carolina, so Eastern Standard Time. So I think you're an hour ahead, cause it's almost 12:30 here, so I think it's almost 11:30 there. But yeah, but if you have any questions, anything, you can give them now or put them down there in the comment, and I'm gonna see them, and then that way when I hop on live, I can do some answers, or if we, you just coming through. Your hour ahead. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is where I'm at. Oh, so that means you would have to get on here at 10:30. Well, if you can. Um, and if this time doesn't work best for everybody, we could take a poll, and I need to get on at 12, or I just have to be out the house by 1:45. I have to go pick up my kid. So if I need to get on something like a 12:45, if that'd be easier for everyone. I don't know what everybody's time frames are. If they tell me, hey, I'm on the East Coast though, so just think East Coast time. So if you say 11, then I'm gonna think you're saying 11 o'clock East Coast time or 12 o'clock East Coast time. Either way, if you don't catch the live, you definitely be able to get the recording, but I would rather just go ahead and boom, answer it directly. Take a repotted plant, I think has root rot. What should I do? I did repot it in a chunky mix. Okay, so if you repotted the plant in a chunky mix, I wouldn't too much stress about it. I don't know exactly what's going on with it. But first thing is, what size pot did we move up to? And you think it has root rot. Okay, so when's the last time you watered the plant, and is the plant still wet? I would like to play some music, but I think if I play music, they're gonna flag my video and not allow it to keep going, and I kind of need that. Yeah, it's got real quiet. I rewarded it when I planted. That was one day last week, but leaves turning. Yeah, yeah. If you reward it when it's watering and you feel and it's still like soggy wet, you might not want to hear this. But what I would do, I would take it out the pot first, or probably last week, but the leaves are still turning yellow. Okay, so first thing, what you can always do before you take it out the pot, if you want to, my Instagram is he really loves his plants. You could send me a picture or a video of the plant before you even do any type of repotting if we just don't want to just freestyle like that. But if I was to give my opinion, if the leaves are starting to turn yellow after you've done the repotting and it does have some moisture into it, most likely you are dealing with some type of root rot. And the best way to do this is going to be two things. Either one, we could take that plant completely out the pot, clear all the soil around there, and just allow it to be able to allow it to dry out, or we may need to cut it at a node that's on the plant because it may be too bad to save. We don't know that yet; it's too early. But in the worst case scenario that is too bad to save, we may be able to get something growing from a node. And if so, I can send you a video on how to do that. I can also, I don't have that exact type of philodendron, but I can get a plant and do some type of cutting so I can show you exactly what to do, so that way you don't have to do it alone, so it doesn't feel so so you don't get nervous with it. I've done it a couple of times where I had to save a plant from root rot, where I pulled it out and completely let it dry it out, and then it did fine when I did the repot. And I've also had some plants where if that happens, then I still trust the process of taking it out, allowing it to dry out. But in case it doesn't happen, which sometimes that happens, then we could just cut it and get us a whole nother plant going. So that way we don't lose a whole plant, we lose the mother plant, but we still can keep it. There's still time, that's what I'm just saying. So anyway, I'll see it. Hopefully you can get that sent over to me so I can get some time today. I'll take a look at it and we'll see what's going on. You all take care, and I will see you on Monday.